Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome to the Multiverse Leadership Podcast. What's one habit or mindset shift you think could take your life or career to the next level this year? Today, I'm excited to introduce Alan Lazaros. He's the CEO and founder and co-host of the Next Level University, a global top 100 podcast with over 2,000 episodes and listeners in more than 175 countries. He's passionate about helping people achieve both success and fulfillment, and he brings a wealth of experience in business, engineering, and personal growth. Alan, welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you for having me, my brother. I appreciate the opening. I thought that was awesome. And yeah, 2,000 episodes. So hopefully I don't disappoint after that opening. If you do something 2,000 times, hopefully you're pretty good at it by then, right?
Right. I remember talking to your cohort, Amy, recently. I had her on the podcast.
Amy, nice.
Yeah. And she was saying, you can't compare to someone's 2,000 to your 50.
Yes.
And it made a lot of sense.
Yep.
Because that's a lot of podcasts to go on. That's a lot of understanding and learning and grinding.
Brother, it has been the most tremendous growth journey because when you're talking out loud about certain topics, and we do health, wealth, and love, and personal development, fitness, and business, you learn there's so many distinctions. There's so many dots you connect, so many aha moments, and they stack on each other. So I'm grateful to be here. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I know mentioning that, it's just amazing how much you learn and grow from this. Like when I first started, I've learned so much about myself and my ability to speak and let people speak and listen that I never would have learned from doing this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's amazing. We would love to tell the audience about your journey, how you kind of got up to those 2,000 episodes. What made you think, oh, let me start a podcast and just start doing it this way? What was that like? Yeah.
All right, so I'll try to condense. We have a Next Level Hope Foundation. It's a charity with our company. I was at an event this past weekend, and it's a charity for single parents to bring their kids to on Father's Day, sort of around Father's Day and the holidays. And this woman, she said, "What school do you go to?" And I was like, I haven't been in school in 13 years, even though she probably thinks I'm 17 years. She probably thinks I'm 17 years old. I said, actually, I'm 36. Haven't been in school in a long time. So anyways, I look young. I'm going to try to condense 36 years into less than 5 minutes here.
I'll give you 2 hours. Go.
Okay, nice. All right. I'll try to be as brief as I can, but I think it's important to know the messenger, not just the message. Well, started off tough for sure. 2 years old, everything's numbers for me, engineering brain. So I was 2, my father was 28, my mother was 31, my sister was 6. This is 1991. Birth father, John McCorkle, passed away in a car accident when he was 28, when I was 2. Never knew my father. My sister did. She was 6. And so started off tough for sure, adversity. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. So John McCorkle, my real last name is McCorkle. It was Jim, Joe, John, Jane, Joan, Jeanette. 6 kids, big Irish Catholic family, born and raised in Massachusetts. So I still live in Massachusetts now, actually. And so from age 3 to 14, though, I had a stepfather. My last name is Lazaros because of him. So Steve Lazaros was his last name. I'm to my awareness, the only non-Greek Lazarus. People that are Greek, they look at me, they go, Lazarus? Blonde hair, blue eyes, not a hair on me, right? Yeah, not a hair on me. But anyways, so stepfather was around from age 3 to 14. And I playfully refer to that part of my life as boats and BS. It was the 90s, early 2000s .com bubble in Massachusetts. He worked for a company called AGFA. They did hospital computers during the .com era. And so the United States is by far the largest economy, if you research that. And the .com era was wild economic boom times in the 90s. So we had boats, ski trips. We had a Ducati motorcycle, snowmobiles. We grew up on a lake. We literally had a yacht. We had another apartment building, the whole thing. Stepfather leaves, and I go from boats and ski trips, Dreamcast and Xbox type of thing, to he takes 95% of the income with him. And I go from boats and ski trips to now I get free lunch in high school because our income is so low. So I was a freshman in high school. Also, not only did he take 90% of the income with him, he also took, sorry, if you can hear my landscapers in the background, I apologize for that.
No worries.
Okay. So not only did he take 90% of the income with him, but he also took his entire extended family with him. To this day, I've never seen or spoken to a single one of them. Yeah. So, and when we were trying to be the Lazaruses, we weren't really associating much with the McCorkles anymore. Same year, sister moves out with her older boyfriend. Same year, my mom gets in a fight with my Aunt Sandy, and we get ostracized from my mom's side of the family. To this day, I kid you not, I've only ever seen or spoken to 2 human beings from that side of the family.
Wow.
So by the time I'm 14 years old, I kind of lost 3 families. We've reassociated with the McCorkles a bit, but it was never really the same. And it was like them seeing a ghost because I look a lot like my dad. But I had 2 trauma responses to that, and I'll get to the podcast part of your question in a minute. So the 4 trauma responses is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawn is appease. You become this sort of social coward, this chameleon, fit in, don't lose anyone. So my abandonment challenge is I just don't lose any more friends and family. So I'll be whatever anyone needs me to be in order to hang on to people. But then behind the scenes, when no one was watching, it was fight. It was aim higher, work harder, get smarter. Aim higher, work harder, get smarter. Because I looked into the future, no dad, no generational wealth, no trust fund. And it was, we're in some trouble here. How are we going to keep the house in the family? I got to do some work. Grade A's through all of high school. I got what's called the President's Award behind me, signed by George W. Bush. And I got all the academic scholarships and financial aid that I possibly could. I got into WPI, my dream college, because when my stepdad left, I went from I hope I get in to even if I do get in, I can't go because it's $50,000 a year. And this is back then. It's called Worcester Polytechnic Institute. It's like a mini MIT, very expensive school.
Ooh.
So I get in, I get my computer engineering degree, graduate with high distinction. I get my master's in business, and then I'm off to the races. So I did the traditional road. I did kindergarten, preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, corporate. And when I got to corporate, so broke in high school and college after my stepdad left. But then when I got to corporate, I rose quick. I went from 65 a year to 85, 85 to 105, 105 to 125, 125 to I peaked at 180 in corporate. All different tech companies, Lens Americas, Sada Technologies, Oz Development, a company called iRobot. They do the Roomba. And then I ended up at a company called Cognex. They sell industrial automation equipment into manufacturing facilities all across the world. And my territory, so I did inside sales engineering and then I did outside sales engineering. My territory was Vermont, Connecticut, Western Massachusetts. Now, this is when I got in my car accident.
When we were talking about that, yeah.
26 years old, head-on collision, my fault, up in New Hampshire. Fortunately, and this was not a fender bender. This was a pretty intense accident. It was a lift-kitted pickup truck. Fortunately, I was driving a 2004 Volkswagen Passat because after being broke in high school and college, I just wanted to keep my expenses low and get out of debt and all this stuff and build wealth. So fortunately, thank you, Volkswagen, for having the safest car ever. I used to call this car the tank. So the whole front end was completely smashed in, but the frame stayed, the airbags deployed, and the other one was a lift-kitted pickup truck, so they were okay too. So no one was permanently injured, but we were definitely rattled. It was, definitely a intense accident. But for me, while I was physically okay, my dad died in a car when he was 28. This was the second chance my dad never got for me. I've seen pictures of his car. I've seen pictures of my car. They don't look very different. So that was my mortality, existential quarter-life crisis. I was 26 at the time. That was 10 years ago. And that's when I found personal development. That's when I found personal growth. That's when I found self-improvement. That's when I found mental health. And that was 10 years ago. And I dialed that shit up to 11, man. Every course, every book, fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, went all in on my own company, Alan Lazaros, LLC, what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. Good luck getting speeches at high schools and colleges with that tagline, right? And I wanted to bring personal development to the masses. I had a podcast called Conversations Change Lives. Kevin had a podcast called the Hyperconscious Podcast, my business partner, Kevin, who you've met.
Yes.
And it was change the way you think, change the way you act, change the way you live. And then we teamed up. I was his first guest. He was my first guest. We teamed up and we had the worst titled podcast of all time, which is the Hyperconscious Podcast meets Conversations Change Lives. That's what we actually called it. For 20 episodes. And then we went all in on Hyperconscious. And then I think we rebranded to Next Level University around episode 400 or 500. And that was 8 years ago. So we started the podcast 8 years ago in 2017. And now we have an 18-person team and it's become a whole thing. Now we work with, as of yesterday, 106 podcasters and business owners. And it's become a whole thing, man. It's become a whole thing. So that's how it all started. That's the shortest version I could give you.
Wow, that was a lot to take in. But makes sense. It kind of builds upon how you got where you are, what kind of drove you to get here. Especially all that schooling, going through corporate, just that drive to get there. When you got there, you just excelled tremendously. I mean, it makes sense. And then to have the podcast and to be able to share that with people, that's profoundly amazing. And you survived that car crash too. Thank God you would be here.
Yeah, brother. That was the moment that changed my life forever. They have that quote of some people have a job, some people have a career, some people have a calling. I found my calling at 26. And it's right here to reach my own unique potential and help others do the same. Everything else is secondary. And that's what I do now. I coach, train, and podcast on fitness, personal development, and business. And I help people reach their potential. Yeah. And that's it. That's all I do now.
It's a very important thing to have, because out here in the real world, we don't have a lot of people that we can look up to anymore that can actually help us with those things. Almost like it's becoming a lost. This is becoming lost in translation over the times. There's no people to really help us understand things. They don't teach us in school anymore. They only teach us how to go to work, and that's it. Not to be better humans, not to connect with people, not to have these conversations. We need more of them as human beings. We really do.
Yeah, Justin, that's the base essence of why I do what I do. It still comes back to what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. I thought about it. It's, okay, who doesn't, if I was in a room of 1,000 people, I said, who here wants to be healthier, wealthier, and more in love? Everyone's hand would go up. And if I said, who here wants to work on themselves a little bit each day for the rest of their life, there'd be some hands that don't go up.
Yeah.
And it's, what if I told you
Yeah.
you can't have the first one without the second one? And then everyone would throw fruit at me.
You know what? I feel that, because I tried it the first way before and it didn't work.
It didn't work. It doesn't work, man.
I had to die myself. I have to go through my own things to realize I needed to do the second one to get the first one.
Yeah, brother.
You
had a mortality moment as well?
Yeah, I actually overdosed and died. I fell downstairs, and from all that, I found my calling. I found that my voice, my venture in life was not over. I had a calling to actually be able to help people find their gifts, similar to yours. Be able to help
Nice, man.
and connect to people like you, to help others out there know that their lives aren't over no matter what they're going through. It's weird. We have to have these coming to God moments in our life sometimes to like wake us up and be like, shoot, this is not what I should be doing. I get it. Crazy. We
Yeah,
have to
man.
have such moments as human beings just to get there sometimes.
Yeah, I think our relationship with mortality, because when you think about all of us at some point are going to pass on.
Yes.
What do you want your life to be? What do you want? I think that it creates a sense of urgency with what are you putting your time, effort, and money on? To me, those are the only resources any of us have, and time is the most important. And where are you investing your time? And I was investing my time very poorly. So I'm grateful to be here, man. I appreciate it. And
yes,
I'm grateful you're here too. So let's do what we do.
I am too. We can have these conversations that help change the world.
That's what else is going to change the world?
Not sitting on the couch eating potato chips and watching TV all day, clearly.
Exactly.
Hoping that something is going to come into your life, hoping that something's going to change, hoping that it's going to be different. Hopium is a hell of a dangerous drug.
Whoa, hopium. Nice.
Hopium, yes.
I've never heard that before. Nice work. Nice
I
work.
took it from someone out there somewhere.
Hey, all good. Sitting around, I always say this, the people who are grinding and growing toward their goals will always be the envy of people sitting around feeling sorry for themselves.
I find myself going both sometimes in my journey. Like, I know what I need to do. I know what has to be done in order to get to where I want to. But sometimes I find myself kind of going backwards. Maybe I just need to sit here and rest for a minute. Let me just relax. But I get too comfortable. When I get too comfortable, then things don't get done that I want to get done. I start giving myself anxiety, being anxious over it. It's like this cycle, this repetitious cycle of like, just do what I need to do, and then this won't happen, but then this will happen. You know, it's like being a human being is a little frustrating sometimes.
Of course it is. Being a human being, the human condition is in and of itself inherently challenging, for sure.
And I find a lot of us out there kind of have those similar problems, trying to figure out, knowing that we can become and do something different in our lives, but then not understanding how to challenge ourselves to actually get there, or listening to the right podcasts or reading the right books to understand what we need to do, like you were saying earlier, in order to get there, to kind of save ourselves.
Well, that's just it, is no one's going to come save you. Only you can improve your life, ultimately. And if you want your life to improve, you have to improve yourself. And to me, personal development, when I found personal development at 26, that was what I was missing. Growing up, there was no personal development. My mom and stepdad, there was none of it. I found it at 26. After the car accident, I found actually a TED Talk by Tony Robbins. Regardless of whether or not you like Tony, the TED Talk is magnificent. Yeah, the TED Talk is magnificent. And it just was like, yes, that if I work on myself, my life will get better as a byproduct, instead of trying to make my life better without working on myself. That is the inside out approach. Work on yourself and your life will get better as a byproduct, instead of try to make everything outside better. outside
That
of you.
doesn't work. That's what creates depression, anxiety, from
Yep.
doing that, right?
Yeah,
I
I was unhappy
understand.
and unhealthy and all
Yeah,
that.
how in the society get to that way? They didn't realize that doing it that way over millions of years, how everyone else is doing it, hasn't been working.
Yeah, because there aren't enough people talking about this.
So now,
That's what it is. Personal development isn't cool. It isn't sexy. You buy a new car. Everyone says, congratulations, that's awesome. But when you work on yourself or buy a new book or buy a new course, it doesn't get the same level of
no one's
hype.
coming to clap for you. Like, yeah, you did a good job, little man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's what you're doing alone in a dark room behind the scenes when no one's watching that's determining your future ultimately. And
That is so true. I like how you said that.
thank you.
I think I was about the same age as you when I kind of had that enlightening moment around 24, 25 for me. I found Buddhism, and that taught you to work on yourself. And
Nice.
that can open my eyes for me. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Why is everyone doing this? But then I looked at me, reflected. I'm like, at myself, I'm like, wow, I'm a pretty miserable person right now. I'm reflecting. I want to be better, but that self-reflection got me.
Nice. Self-reflection, contemplating your life, contemplating your existence. Existentialist. You ever hear that term? An existentialist?
Yes, existential crisis.
Existential crisis, yeah. An existentialist is someone who contemplates themselves, contemplates others, and contemplates the world, and contemplates their place in it. And I think that
I think I fall there.
you definitely do. We wouldn't be having this conversation if you didn't.
I never
Right?
did
You
the
might
work.
not identify as an existentialist, but there's some people who don't. They really don't want to think about their past or their present or their future. They don't want to think about their own mistakes. They don't want to think about their regrets. They don't want to think about their traumas and what's been done and what's been done to them and their reaction to it. But at the end of the day, it's like okay. Imagine if they just stopped improving the iPhone. They just stopped working on it. They stopped investing in research and development. Stopped investing in the iPhone. Okay, well, Android would start winning.
True.
Right. And so you can't just stop working on yourself. Otherwise, Apple stops growing or the iPhone stops growing or, so it's a good metaphor. But ultimately,
I like that.
If nothing else, I always say this: work harder on yourself than anything else you do.
Ooh, I like that. I always tell people that healing is an ongoing process. I come across so many people they're like, "Oh yeah, I've healed. I'm okay." I'm like, if you're saying those words in that sentence, you're not okay. Because you're pretending and you're delusional in that way you think you're okay, but you're not. Healing is also goes with your fitness too. I've been on that huge fitness journey. That is a huge part of healing.
Yes.
It pretty much, I want to say for me, it did like 70% of my work to help me understand these in my life. I just going through that fitness journey, working out, having cardio, exercise, weightlifting. It really improves so much of your homeostasis.
That's where I started too. I love it.
What was that journey like for you? How did you figure out that, okay, let me try to start with fitness after you had your 26-year-old existential crisis?
Well, it always bothered me that I was so out of shape. I was tall, lanky. You think I look young now. Imagine me younger. I was 160 pounds, skinny fat, drank too much and too often. I have a photograph of me. I was really successful in corporate. I was an engineer, so I was smart, but I wasn't taking care of my health, my physical health. I have my pillars: sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, mobility, breath work, and supplementation. I wasn't doing those well.
I love how you have sleep as your number one.
Sleep is so important. Yeah, absolutely. And I track my sleep every day. But I was not fulfilled, and it always bothered me that I wasn't in shape. And after my car accident, I decided that's where I was going to start. I'm going to start by getting physically strong. And I started weight training, and I decided to be a fitness model. I was a fitness model, fitness competitor, and a fitness coach. I did 43 photo shoots, and I did 3 fitness competitions, and I won one of them. One out of 3 ain't bad. But ultimately, I just decided to get strong, physically strong. And I mean not just in physical strength, but in vibrance, mentally strong, physically strong, emotionally strong, and spiritually strong. And it was
go together.
It was amazing, man. It was so good. It was so good. And what was that like for me? At the beginning, it was hard because I had so many of my relationships caught up around drinking.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yep. And so in my mid-20s, I had to kind of sail away from so many of the relationships that were built on the common value of drinking, partying. I always say common goals, common core values, people think that they're in friendships for friendships, when in reality, it's usually a common core value or a common goal. So for example, one of my best friends in high school was from Georgia and I was from Massachusetts. We played Halo 2 together. Yeah. And so you remember Halo 2 back in the day, Halo 1, Halo 2? So the point is we weren't friends because we were friends. We were friends because of Halo. Take Halo away and we were no longer friends. I think people don't realize that. Yeah, it's a complete, that's why weddings are so uncomfortable, because the only thing you have in common with anybody is that we all knew this couple at some point in our life, right? Which is why there's open bar and most people drink. So I quit drinking 6 years ago, and I always joke, I say it took me 5 years to quit because I kept falling off weddings.
Same.
Yeah, exactly. And
not a quick thing.
Yeah, it was not a quick thing for me. It was over time, yeah. And then eventually I started a streak going. I had a streak going, and I used to count the days, and I stopped counting the days a couple of years ago. Now I count the years. But it's changed my whole world, but it's also changed all my relationships. So I think if I were to go back, what I realize now is that the biggest bottleneck, the biggest kryptonite in my life was drinking. Fitness was a big enough goal. So what I did is I replaced drinking with fitness. And I, obviously, anyone out there watching or listening, you don't do 2,000 episodes without somewhat of an addictive personality.
I feel that.
Yes. And so I had to channel, the way I see it is all human beings. And if you study the neuroscience, the physiology, and the psychology, all human beings have addictive personalities, some more than others. Some are more moderate and some are more intense. Obviously, you had some challenges. So did I. Yeah, for sure. Addictive personality. And so what I figured out is all habits are either constructive or destructive. And if you can replace a destructive habit, like drinking alcohol, with a constructive habit like working out, it can change everything for you. And so in the speeches, we do a live event every year. It's called Next Level Live. We do it in March. And at the most recent one in March, I said, if all of us, there was like 40 or 50 people there, if all of us were to go to the gym tomorrow for 9 hours straight, none of our lives would really change. Our physiques wouldn't change. It would be intense and it would be hard.
You'd never go back again.
But it wouldn't change your life. However, if I took those same 9 hours and I split them into half-hour increments, and we went to the gym together for 18 days straight, for a half an hour a day, that could create a habit that might change your life forever. And to me, the consistency piece of fitness, that's always been the anchor for me. That's always been the ground for me. It's always kept me healthy, happy, and productive, and fulfilled. And now I actually have a streak going with my beautiful girlfriend and future wife. March 1st of 2022, I came to her and I said, hey, sweetheart, I want to beat my old best. She said, what do you mean? I said, back in college during my master's program, I did 3.5 months without missing a single day of exercise. She said, okay, let's beat that. I said, will you do it with me? She said, yes. I said, let's go for 4 months. So 120 days was the goal. When we passed it, I said, we passed it. I said, sweetheart, we did it. She said, congratulations. Let's go for a year. I was like,
hell yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. And then I said, we did it. So we're pulling into the garage after a workout. Our gym is like 2 minutes away. We share a car, believe it or not. Pull into the garage. And I turn to her and I say, sweetheart, we did it. She said, what do you mean? I said, we passed a year. Today's a year. And she's yeah. So she turned to me. She said, let's do this for the rest of our life. And I had a mini panic attack.
That's a keeper right there, though.
And I said, sweetheart, seriously though, I can't say I'm going to do this without doing it. I'm big on promises I make to myself. Like, are you serious? Like forever? She said, yes. Dude, that was March 1st of 2022 when we started. It's been 1,217 days.
So let me confirm here. That's every single day, 7 days a week, no time off. I'm like, woo.
So Justin, here's the constraints. We started with 30 minutes a day. And it has to be intentional movement. We set a timer, but swimming counts, weight training counts, mostly weight training. We try to weight train every day. Swimming counts, walking counts, weight training counts. It has to be 30 minutes of intentional movement every single day. Yoga does not count. Like, it has to be walking. It has to be
like lifting weights 7 days a week.
No, correct. So we do weight training every other day, but it has to be HIIT training, high intensity interval training, some form of steady state cardio, or weight training. And that's an 30 minutes every single day. We started with 30, then we bumped it to 35, then 40. Then we struggled, went back to 30. Then we eventually got it up to 45. We're actually trying to get it up to an hour this year.
I want to join on this bandwagon.
Brother, we have a fitness group. We literally have a fitness group with 43 people in it. Brother, they're all
5 days a week. But the other 2 days, I do other stuff also, but 5 days in the gym.
We have something called the Next Level Fitness Accountability Group. We have 43 people in there. Dude, they're on fire in there.
You just sold me.
All right, love it. It's free. I'll invite
I
you
need
for sure.
help too, because sometimes it gets boring by yourself, not
Of
having people
course.
to talk to with it and stuff. It gets stagnant. I'm like, I like doing this. I have the habit now, but I'm kind of like, well, it's just kind of boring, but I like it. It's just like I'm in that mode right now.
Justin, we have people
People.
in there. Tina, first name's only Luam. Kev is in there. Richard's in there. We have people in there every single day, just posting their stats, their photos. Like it's been awesome, and it's extra accountability for me too. We're actually in the middle of a 10 pounds in 10-week challenge right now. We started on, I forget the day, but it ends on August 7th. Weigh-in is August 7th, and everyone set their start weight and their goal weight, and I have a whole spreadsheet. It's been
But that's
awesome.
actually not unattainable, because I actually just lost 17 pounds in the past 8 weeks, I think it was.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Good for you,
so I
man.
know it's not attainable, but that was also for me building up to that over time, because I wasn't doing 5 days before. It took
Justin,
time to get there.
I'll get you in there, man. We'll hold
Yeah.
you at the end of the day. No bullying. It's all respectful. No body shaming. None of that. But it helps you stay consistent. It's been really helpful. It's been helpful for Kevin and I too, because this group of next level people just in there every day, it keeps us going. So it's become a whole thing, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I've been learning, I'm missing in my life and all my leadership and everything that I'm trying to build, is just that community part. It's hard for me to kind of find and connect with communities, because how my mind is, it's weird to try and connect with people sometimes.
Yeah, Justin, I've got you, man. Are you on WhatsApp? You have WhatsApp?
I am not, but I may download it. We will see.
Okay. All right. I'll send you an invite on Facebook or whatever after. And if you
I'll
want
look
to
at
join, that'd be great. If
I'll
not,
look
no
at for
stress.
5 days and decide, and I'll click no.
Yeah. I'll send you a message. If you don't want to join, you don't have to.
No worries. I'm actually interested.
Okay.
Need some more accountability in my life too.
Well, Emilia and I are in there, man. So we got a streak going 7 days a week. You don't have to do 7 days a week, but we're trying to get it to an hour a day.
6 is my highest I've done so far.
Nice.
I'm adding rollerblading to the 7th day.
Nice. Consistency is everything, man. Consistency will change your life.
I've been learning that, and it's been so over that journey of consistency for me, there's been a lot of inconsistency, and it's been really frustrating. But understand I need to give myself space, that I'm learning and doing something new, and that I'm growing. So it may be inconsistent at first, but you're gonna get to consistency over time. And I had to keep telling myself that, to remind myself, give myself grace, but then getting to consistency is a journey.
What I often say, Justin, to my clients, I have 20 business owners that I coach. One of them is 4 times a week. 2 of them are 3 times a week, and the rest are biweekly, weekly, or monthly. And it's 20 people right now, but what I always say to my clients is so number one, the science of achievement does not care about your feelings. I wish it did. I'm so
emotional now.
It just doesn't care. The science of achievement, to achieve external success, to achieve success in health, wealth, and love, to build the physique you want, whatever, the science of achievement doesn't care about your feelings. The most important skill for external success is consistency.
Phil, and that builds that emotional intelligence over time too. You get past your feelings.
Well, you being consistent with this podcast, think about how many other amazing things have happened as a byproduct. So those 2,000 episodes, 2,115 as of yesterday, those 2,000 episodes, it's not just 2,000 episodes. It's 2,115 conversations, 2,115 new distinctions, 2,115 more opportunities to practice speaking effectively, 115 opportunities to change a life, 115 opportunities to get a new client or meet a new person. It's the consistency is the one thing that changes everything.
I love that. And it's so true. There's been some days I'm like, I don't want to do this. I hope they don't show up. I'm going to do something else.
Did you have that earlier with me?
I had it to with you also. Okay, he's not coming. Okay, good. He's not going to show up. But then every time that happens, it ends up being a wonderful conversation. I'm like, wow, if I didn't have this conversation,
exactly.
What if I didn't have this brain map and poured into this podcast with this human being?
Exactly.
Justin,
when I get in the room 7 minutes late, Justin's like, shit, damn.
I'm leaving now. There he is.
Damn, I should have left earlier.
Every excuse in your mind, everything, you're like, nope, he's here. We're doing this. Let's go.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. I was on with a client named Bianca, and we were knit, man.
That's the one thing when you're doing these podcasts and you have your businesses or the companies you run also, you have to kind of figure out your time management. You're talking earlier about time is the most important thing we have. A lot of people don't understand how precious and beautiful and valuable time really is. When you run multiple businesses, but you want to have wonderful conversations with other people, you got to figure that shit out.
It's been
Figure
one of
out
the
your calendar, put it on there.
calendar hygiene.
Daily consistency. Yeah. I'm still learning calendar hacking right now too.
No kidding. Digital hygiene, calendar hygiene, time management has been one of the biggest challenges for me. Being on time has been hard for me because right now I'm averaging 47 Q2. I just crunched my Q2 numbers. I'm averaging 47 a week, a coaching session.
Time after your calendar? I do that. Depending, like, say, podcast, I have an hour after, or meetings.
No, I have back-to-backs. I'm on a coaching session
I was doing that before. It was working for me.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I was late.
Yeah.
That's why I was late.
Might have to learn from you then.
I'm grateful for this, but I tried doing 15 minutes before and after.
Yeah.
But it takes away too many spots. I have a lot of clients that need those spots, right? So for me, I do back-to-backs now, and that's why I just ask. So I have the timer set right now, 11 minutes, 51 seconds for us to get off here. But
that would make sense.
When I first started, it wasn't like that. Because in the beginning it's crickets.
Yeah,
nobody cares. And then eventually when you are consistent, the demand increases. And so now I do coaching, training, podcasting. Coaching is 1-to-1, training is 1-to-several, podcasting is 1-to-scale. And I help people reverse engineer their goals basically and reach their potential. As of yesterday, I crunched this. It's on my whiteboard, 10,820 coaching sessions, trainings, and podcasts. So I have something called a 10,000 hour tracker that I started 10 years ago. It used to be in these little flashcards that I have, like bulks of flashcards, and I realized I need to digitize this. And now it's all in Google Sheets. But 10,820 as of yesterday for coaching, training, and podcasting, my 10,000 hour tracker. So
that's a lot, but I have to remember that's over a certain amount of
10 years. 10 years.
Yeah.
That's over 10 years. Yeah, that's not. I'm averaging 47 a week right now. I'm trying to get it above 50 in Q3.
Woo, I think you will make it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I believe
No, the question is, can I make it without burning down? That's the question.
That is a good one. I'm leaving that one in your hands.
And can I make it and be on time, right? That feels impossible.
Yeah. Talking about my coaches, he was late a few times, and I realized what he told me was when he was late for one, it kind of snowballed into all his other meetings. He was late for all of them.
It's the cascade effect.
Yeah, that's kind of dangerous too.
That's why I set a timer for this interview, because I don't want that to happen. So I've got 10 minutes and 5 seconds. The whole time thing, if you can dial in your time, where you spend your time is where you spend your life.
Ooh, that's so true.
The average life expectancy for women right now is 79. The average life expectancy for men, I think, is 77 or 78. I think that number will go up, because obviously medical breakthroughs, screen printing organs, different things like that, stem cell.
Cybernetics and everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know the deal. So, but ultimately, I think you only have, this is what I say to people. We have a group coaching program. We have a wealth creation group coaching program. It's called the Next Level Podcast Accelerator. Anyways, is on wealth building. And I talk about this. I say, if you only had $36,500 in your bank account, because here's the thing, if you live to 100 years old, that means you had 365 times 100, you had 36,500 days on planet Earth. So if everyone right now has $36,500 in a bank account, and that's assuming you're 0 years old, which you're not, and you could never make another dollar, how carefully would you spend that money? And so that metaphor, it really gets you to go, wait a minute, I'm wasting so much time. Because when I got in that car accident, I realized how much time and effort I had wasted. It's called self-imposed servitude to thankless people. And you basically waste so much time and effort. And then when you face mortality, which we all will, you have all these regrets that come up. But by then you can't do anything about it. So for me at 26, I realized, okay, I can change this. This is my second chance. My dad never got. I can change this. And I've committed myself to doing all I can with all I have ever since.
I love that. And I've heard stories of people going to assisted living homes and talking to the elderly and asking them about the regrets in their life. They always usually say the same thing.
That's
they have a lot of regret.
Yeah.
Waste their time.
Yep.
I've heard that. Yeah. And they'll want more money. They want more time.
There's a book by Bronnie Ware called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. I have these tattered old flashcards. If you're on YouTube, I've been carrying these around for years. And The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying was by Bronnie Ware. It's a book. And so the first one is, I wish I had lived a life true to myself and not what others expected of me. The third one is, I wish I had the courage to express my true feelings. I actually interviewed Bronnie Ware. She worked in hospice for 8 years, and she's an Australian woman. And in the 8 years when she worked with the terminally ill, she saw the same regrets over and over and over again. And I found that book after my car accident. I was in regret, and I found a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. Not a coincidence.
Not at all.
And that opened my eyes to have all of these, and I need to turn my life around so that I live life in a way where I don't regret how I invested it. The way I see it is your time and your effort and your money is an investment. You can invest it terribly, or you can invest it wisely.
In others or in yourself.
Exactly, or both. And it depends. That's what I help people do. I help them invest their time, effort, and money into the persons, places, things, and ideas that are constructive in alignment with their unique calling.
I love how you said in alignment with the unique calling. So one of those other reasons I started this podcast is to really help other people get in alignment, and also help myself get in alignment. So I'm out of alignment, but I'm working on it too. But these conversations help.
You're out of alignment right now?
I'm about 80% there.
It's nice. You never, you're never a 10 out of 10, right?
It's a little wobbly.
Oh, we will wobble, yeah, man.
Yeah, we're working on it. There's a little roadblocks here and there.
I see you. Yeah. You're never fully in alignment, but you don't maybe swing as far. I think as we get older and we mature, we stay in alignment. And we used to swing the pendulum way farther. Like in high school, you're way over here, or way over here, or way over here, or way over here. And now, as you get matured, you don't swing as far, right?
I will say this: really dialing in my diet and getting my diet in a lot more under control than it was really helped get me in alignment more with it.
Nice.
Myself and the way I need to help people and
Same.
show up.
My
Because
girlfriend,
she's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, man. She's helped with that tremendously. She has us eating, these things are called impossible chicken nuggets, impossible chicken patties. We used to do impossible burgers. They're all vegan. And she's right. My microbiome feels way better. I feel better. I do. As a matter of fact, we just gave up. Yeah, we just gave up yesterday. So I got Domino's for the Next Level Hope Foundation event on Saturday, and I brought some home.
Once in a while.
We just gave up. So we used to, I don't want to say frequent, but maybe once a month we'd do Domino's or Burger King, and we just gave it up yesterday. So, because we had a conversation this morning, we went for a walk. Actually, we have these quarries near our home, and I actually went for a swim, which was awesome. We talked about what we want to be different in Q3. It's Q3 now. July, August, September. So the whole conversation, the whole walk, we do 45 minutes a day. And the whole conversation was, what do we want to change in Q3? And one of the things we want to change is we want to eat better. Yeah, we want to eat better.
Food's powerful. Food's dangerous. Food's toxic. You have to be careful how much of it you eat and really watch what you eat, especially the portion sizes, especially in America.
Yeah, man.
It's like, here's a big, huge plate. Here you go.
Justin, where are you hailing from?
Newport Beach, California.
Nice. I've been there.
We have a lot of good food places here.
Been there.
We have a lot of bad.
Do. Newport Beach,
you
man.
have to be careful.
You live in a very cost of living is high there. It's high there.
It is.
I've been there, man.
Really
I've been there. You ever been to there's a hike called Top of the World?
Yes. I used to go there in my youth all the time. I drive up there. Dude. I've hiked through those mountains. I've mountain biked down there. The mountain biking is fun. A little dangerous, but fun.
Newport Beach, I went on a hike there. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice area, great people. It's a different vibe, different kind of people, you know.
I lived in LA.
A lot of people here kind of stuck in their bubble. You just gotta live your life for you know.
Yeah, agreed. Justin, I lived in LA for 3.5 months in my early 20s. And if you go outside my apartment to the left, you can see the Hollywood sign. Sunset Boulevard is up two streets, and then you go to your right, and it's slightly dangerous. It was interesting time. So I know the area. I've been to LA many times. I've been to Newport Beach many times. I've been to that, Southern California quite a bit. So
Orange County and SoCal, my favorite places to live. I've lived everywhere. I've lived in like Texas, Virginia.
Really?
A lot of different places. Yeah.
SoCal is your favorite so far?
So far, the price of living is unfortunate, but it's just kind of like you get what you pay for.
Yep.
Like for my peace of mind, my calmness, my sanity, this is the place that does me well.
Nice. Justin, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
41 this year.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Guys,
I know.
You're like, I've lived all over. You and I both look young. Yeah.
I get that from people all the time. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, really.
Same. Same. Yeah. I got it.
I'd probably look like you.
you know it.
I would recognize myself.
It's all good, man. 41. Good for you.
Yes, thank you. I know we're getting short on time here. Thank you for coming on here. I appreciate this time so much with you. I'd love to have you back on. I feel like we could have gotten deep on a lot of things on this podcast.
I would love to, brother. I would love to.
Yeah.
Anytime. Say the word.
Yeah. Before we go, is there anything that you'd like to leave our audience with, letting them know also how they can reach out to you and help them on their journey?
Nextleveluniverse.com is the website. If you are humble and grateful and have a sincere interest in reaching your true potential and you want to be healthier, wealthier, and more in love, you're going to love Next Level University. You're going to love our podcast. You're going to love our company. We have a journal. We have free stuff. We do free trainings. We have a book club. We got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we have a fitness group, like I said. If you want big rewards for minimal effort, do not reach out under any circumstances because it's just going to be a waste of my time and yours. Kevin and I are the ultimate tryhards. We are always striving, never arriving. We believe in hard work over everything and really earning it. We're earners, born from very humble beginnings and earn everything. So thank you so much for having me, Justin. I'll come back anytime and appreciate you.
You all have a wonderful vibe to you. You know, Kevin's the only one I haven't had on here, but I have talked with him also.
Nice.
Because you guys are all on this journey to really help people, and it shows that it comes out, the passion and compassion and all of it.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you. I'm so grateful to hear that. Yeah, Amy, Kevin, and I are out here trying to inspire, motivate, and educate people, and it's been awesome. Thank you, Justin, for being a part of that. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Before we go, I'd like to also ask you one last question. And what does it mean to you to be a human being?
What it means to me is my one word is potential, and doing all I can with all I have to reach my own unique potential and help others do the same is what I know I'm here for. And I've lost sight of that at times, for sure. Drugs, alcohol, I've been outside of alignment many times. But overall, that's the one thing that I think is unique to me that I care about at the deepest level is I just care about helping people reach their potential and reaching my own potential. I might care about that more than anyone I've ever met, except for my beautiful girlfriend, Emilia. She probably tops me on that. So that's what it means to be a human being for me personally. And I'm not projecting that. I'm not saying that's what it needs to mean for everybody. But for me, it means doing all I can with all I have to become all I can become and help others do the same and to lead by example.
Hell yeah, brother. I love everyone answers that question. We all have a unique perspective on it. And I really enjoyed those perspectives. Thank you so much for coming on here, Alan.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Yeah. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. You too.
All right, bye.